Been spending most my life living in the Janksta's paradise.
Hey, what is going on, everybody? It's J Plays Win here. I'm back with another video. Finally, it has been forever, and the reason why is because, in all honesty, I've been a little busy, but I could have made videos, but I just wasn't really feeling motivated enough. I don't know why, and I would rather take the little break off that I needed to take than just pump out uninspiring videos, because I only want to give you guys the best of the best. And so yeah, I took a while off, but I am back, I am motivated, and I am ready to do this. So thanks guys for staying with me. If you're here, love all of you guys, and yeah, let's do this. We already saw the name of the video, so let's go through the tiers. You got Cardinals tier, Super Bowl boys, deep playoff run, solid playoff team. Wait, how did I make the playoffs again? Missed playoffs barely, meh, high draft pick, and REEEEE. Anyways, let's start off at REEEEE. Simply Jets. By the way, this is week 4 for simple enough. Yeah, I just thought I'd say that. Anyways, start with the Jets. Jets, Zach Wilson. He's been decent, okay. I mean, he's kind of been stuck with the Jets. I mean, he got drafted into a bad situation. That's what he's supposed to do in the number 2 overall pick, but he's done well enough. They're coming off a win versus the Titans, so good for him. He had some amazing throws in that game. The Titans didn't play the best, but got to give it to the Jets where the Jets are due. The 1-3. I just don't see them as. I feel like the Jets have to play their best game every game just to be able to win games, which is like the same thing at the bottom 3 teams. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. There's not range teams to say out the bottom 3 teams. Moving on to the Falcons. Falcons, I mean, their offense has always been deadly. It's been deadly for like the last decade, but the defense has always been letting them down. Imagine saying the Falcons score 30 points and still lose to the football team. Do I really need to go past that? I mean, they don't got Julio Jones anymore, but Calvin Ridley and Cordell Patterson have really stepped up. Surprisingly, Cordell Patterson. So, I mean, yeah, I don't know what to say. Their defense has really been laying them down. Taylor Heineke just went Tom Brady mode on them, and there's just not much you can do about that. Moving on to the Lions. Lions are the only team without a win so far. I don't know why my voice seems a little off. Sorry about that. Lions are the only team without a win so far. They've played close games, though. They played the Ravens, where they had that longest field goal in NFL history. Week 1, they played the Niners, where they almost had that huge comeback. I don't remember who they played. They played the Bears most recently, and they didn't play that well against the Bears, but it wasn't like they got blown out or anything. So the Lions, I don't think they're going 0-17. They're going to get some wins this year. I believe that, but just not nearly enough that it's going to help them in any way, shape, or form. So they're probably going to want to tank at this point. Steelers, yeah, I know. Some people might think I'm low. Steelers fans are going to hate me. Yeah, bruh. Yeah, 1-3. They beat the Bills. I'll give them credit for that. Bills are an amazing team, as I believe they're a Super Bowl boy. But I mean, Ben Roethlisberger's just tanked since then. Did you see that one throw he had? I don't remember who it was against. He had a throw. It's like a 3-yard pass and he fell down. I just thought that was pretty funny. But I mean, they just haven't been clicking after week 1. It's just been off. They're coming off a loss to the Packers, 27-17. That offsides right before halftime, where they got that blocked field goal, that return that was called for offsides. I don't think that was offsides. That game, they could be 2-2 debatably if that doesn't get called, but still, I think they'll probably end up with a pretty high draft pick. Same with the Giants. Daniel Jones, Danny Dimes, Danny Derps, whatever you call him. He's been okay this year. He's looked better than in other years, that's for sure. But he just hasn't looked amazing. Well, not even amazing. He hasn't looked above average. He had that really good game versus I don't know who, but he had that one really long touchdown run that was called back due to a hold, and they've just haven't really. They're coming off a win. I'll give them that. Coming off a win versus the Saints. That was pretty impressive in overtime. So, I mean, they're looking to be a lot better. Jags, high draft pick. I don't know. If this was just situation, then they're easily down in simply just because Urban Meyer with the bar video and everything. And, yeah, they are not in a good scenario. But overall, just looking at how good of a team they are, specifically off a football standpoint, I would say that they are just a high draft pick team. Trevor Lawrence coming off probably his best game I would. Are the Jags? The Jags don't have a win yet either. I don't know why I said the Lions are the only undefeated or only team without a win. I don't think the Jags have won either. Sorry about that. But yeah, I mean, Trevor Lawrence hasn't looked horrible. He leads the league in interceptions, I do believe. But other than that, I mean, that's a pretty big thing. But it's not like he's like Ryan Leaf or something. Moving on to the Dolphins. That was my mirror, by the way. Moving on to the Dolphins. Dolphins, I expected to be better this year. Tua got hurt. Yeah, I know that much. You don't need to tell me that. But they have not been inspiring. I just don't know how else to put it. They have not looked. I mean, Jacoby Brissett. It's like the offense is. They're keeping the offense the same, but they have different skill sets. That's just what sucks about that. And their defense has been playing pretty well, I'd say. I guess they got shut out by the Bills, but the Bills, like I said, are Super Bowl boy. But I don't know what to say about them. Moving on to the Patriots. Patriots coming off a loss versus the Bucks. I mean, the Bucks are a good team. They played them well. They have not played other teams well. They lost to the Dolphins week 1. And then forgot who they beat. They're 2-2, I believe. Yeah, I don't. Or they might be 1-3. I think they're 1-3. Yeah, because they were 1-2 coming up to the Bucks. But I'm thinking as I'm going. I think you know that. But I mean, Bill Belichick. I mean, he's still probably the greatest coach of all time. Can't deny it. Coming off the loss versus Tom Brady. That's about. I expected the Bucks to win, and they'll overall just be like 6-10 team. In the Mets here, that's about teams that can finish 5-11, 6-10. Eagles. Jalen Hurts is playing just average, I guess. That's about as good as I expect them to play. Maybe a little bit better. Their defense is looking just. I don't even know how to describe the defense, but I mean, mostly I want to talk about the Met teams, look at how their QB is playing, because that's the focus point in the Met teams, and if they can improve, I don't know what they could do with Jalen Hurts, but I mean, who knows? Maybe it's Minshew Mania time in Philadelphia. Texans, Tyrod Taylor got hurt. That sucks. Now they got Davis Mills. I mean, they were doing good with Tyrod Taylor and the veterans, but I can't blame them. They also starting QB. Same with the Dolphins. Can't blame them too much when their starting QB gets hurt. So, yeah. Colts, Carson Wentz. He's playing about as I expected him to. Sprained both ankles. That sucks for him. I mean, what you gonna do about it? Their defense is worse than I thought it would be, but they got their first win of the year. So, and I don't. First the Dolphins, another team I ranked below them, but yeah. Football team coming off a win versus the Falcons. Like I said, Taylor Heineke went Tom Brady on them, and they'll probably finish first or second in their division behind the Cowboys, debatably. But as you all know, that's the NFC least, and yeah, I don't want to spend much time with the NFC least. Moving on to Broncos. Broncos were 3-0, and then they lost to the Ravens, and Vic Fangio got mad that the Ravens decided to run the ball in the very last play. I don't know if that's something you should get upset over. I mean, if you really want them to stop that streak, then I don't know, stop them. I don't really know what to say about that. But Broncos they're still a decent team. I don't think they'll make the play. I do not think they'll make the playoffs. They'll be 3-1. They'll probably finish the year 7-9, I'd assume. Maybe, or there's 17 games, so 7-10, 8-9, around that. Vikings, they nearly beat the Cardinals. I'll admit the Vikings probably should have won that game. They shanked the 37-yard field goal, so Blair Walshed it. And they've been playing close to their opponents, but their strength of schedule has been pretty hard so far. And I don't think it gets easier, so I don't think they'll make the playoffs because of that. But I do believe that they are actually a pretty good team. It's just that their schedule makes it really hard to be a good team. Moving on to the Saints. Saints coming off a loss to the Giants. I moved them down for that, obviously. 38-3 Packers. That completely gets nullified by a loss to the Giants. And, yeah, famous Jameis looking okay. And Taysom Hill still looking like a beast. At least on the running game. And then Bears. Da Bears are coming off a win versus the Lions. So, take that how you will. I see it as a win, I guess. A win's a win. You win versus the Lions, so. Justin Fields, he gets taken out by Matt Nagy anytime he's doing good. He actually got left in this time and they won. So, yeah, good for Fields. Their defense had that weird pick off Jared Goff's thigh. And, yeah, simple enough. Raiders also started off 3-0 in the AFC West along with the Broncos. They also are coming off a loss on Monday Night Football versus the Chargers. They looked bad in the first half, sort of. They looked bad in the first half. They looked good at the end of the third, and then bad the rest of the fourth, pretty much. And it's just that second half play calling, or end of the game play calling, just really sucked. That missed field goal. The taunting calls have been absolutely horrendous this year. It's been bad. If you haven't been watching football, it's been really bad. But Derek Carr, MVP candidate, I would say, and I think the Raiders will get back, and I think they'll finish the year with a winning record and just maybe slide in that wild card. Titans, they ever since coming off a loss. Here's how the Titans seasons went. You got whooped in week 1 by the Cardinals. Then they looked really good for 2 weeks, and then they lose to the Jets. So I think they'll make the playoffs. I think that's just a slip up by them. I think the Jets played well, but yeah, you can't lose to the Jets. That sucks. King Henry's probably gonna have another 2,000-yard season. Who knows? But that defense is a little scary, and I think the offensive line for the Titans is a pretty big hole. Move on to Panthers. Panthers, another undefeated team that's coming off a loss, 3-0. They're coming off a loss to the Cowboys, who are in the same tier as them. And the Panthers, Sam Darnold leading the league in rushing yards, Vanilla Vic, as we all know. And Sam Darnold's looking way better now that he's not being held down by the Jets, which is what Zach Wilson's currently doing. So who knows how it's going to go. They got C.J. Henderson, I believe, from the Jags for Dan Arnold. So no more Sam Darnold to Dan Arnold, so that sucks. But I think they've looked, pretty decent. I don't really know what else to tell you. Well, on the Cowboys. Cowboys, I believe, are 3-1 or 2-2. I don't remember. I don't care enough to look it up. But the Cowboys have looked good in their wins, and Trevon Diggs, that cornerback, is looking absolutely amazing, leading the league in interceptions, has at least one in every game. And Dak Prescott is really bounced back from his injury, so I'm glad for him. And the Cowboys have looked like solid teams in their wins, and they've looked pretty bad in their losses. I don't know what to tell you. They're a middle-of-the-road team that will barely slip in the playoffs. Move on to Seahawks. Okay. Logan is one of my friends. If you are listening to this, what happened to the Seahawks? Just what happened? I believe right now they're 2-2. They're coming off a win versus the Niners, so I'll give them that. Good job. They were 1-2. They started off the year with a loss, I believe. I don't remember for sure, but I don't even remember who they beat. They beat the Niners. I don't remember who else they beat, but Russell Wilson he's looked fine as always. Tyler Lockett's still looking good as always. Still catching the deep balls. I struggle to find what the problem is. They play so good, but so bad at the same time. It's just their defense will randomly let up some big play. Even their win versus the Niners, they had that Deebo Samuel, he was wide open for a 70-yard touchdown. So I don't know what's up with that, but as much as I like to hate on the Seahawks, they'll still probably Russell Wilson do some random stuff and still somehow slip into the playoffs barely with a 9-8 record. We got the Niners. Niners coming off a loss versus the Seahawks, as we all said. The Niners, I believe, will be starting Trey Lance. I don't know if Jimmy Garoppolo is hurt enough to be, or if he's healthy enough to come back. I don't know if, like I said, so I'm just going to put them in the middle of the row. I don't know if having Jimmy Garoppolo would raise them higher or anything, but Kyle Shanahan's still an amazing offensive play caller. Their wide receivers are still looking good as ever. And their defense is still looking pretty scary with Nick Bosa, so I think they'll slip in the playoffs again, and yeah. Actually, guys, I have all 4 NFC West teams making the playoffs. That's pretty scary. I doubt that happens, but that's pretty scary. Who knows? Moving on to Ravens. Ravens are 2-2, maybe 3-1. I don't know for sure. Marquise Brown has had the most inconsistent season of all time. They're coming off a win versus the Broncos. I'll give him this. He had a really good game versus the Broncos. He went from dropping the touchdown passes versus the Lions, multiple touchdown passes versus the Lions, to catching that 49-yard bomb, diving catch in the end zone. So good job for you, Hollywood Brown. You got Hollywood back. And the Ravens defense has been pretty on and off, but overall, John Harbaugh's been pretty good about keeping that 100-yard rushing game streak going. Rams. Rams are overrated. I said it. They're overrated. I think they're a good team, yes. Are they Super Bowl contenders? Maybe. Maybe. I think they're a solid playoff team. I don't think there's any guarantee they even make the playoffs. I think they do. I think they'll make it in. But I doubt they go to the Super Bowl. I think they'll just maybe lose in round 2. Maybe lose in the divisional round. Matthew Stafford, he's a good QB. Like I'm not going to deny it. Jalen Ramsey, he's a good cornerback. I'm not going to deny it. Aaron Donald, maybe the best player in the league. They have really good players. They're an overrated team. They're a good team, but they're an overrated team. And I believe they'll make the playoffs. And they're coming off an absolute butt whooping by the Cardinals. So, yeah, 3-1 Rams. Moving on to the 2-2 Chiefs. They're bottom of the division. Still gonna make the playoffs. We all know it's gonna happen. We can deny it all we want. Patrick Mahomes is gonna do something to make the playoffs. And yeah, we're all just living in Patrick Mahomes' world. And hopefully Tyreek Hill does not eat us alive. So, Chiefs gonna make the playoffs somehow. They're at bottom of their division. They're gonna find a way to somehow win that division. And speaking of our team, speaking about bottom of the division, let's move instantly to the top of the division with the Bengals. The Bengals are leading their division. Just think about that. 4 weeks in, they're leading their division. Joe Burrow is looking good. Jamar Chase is looking amazing. Their defense is looking pretty solid. Ted Hendrickson, that trade seems to be working out or signing. I don't know if that trade or signed. I forgot, but they're looking like a kind of a scary team for once, and I think they'll be a solid playoff team. I mean, who knows? They might even get farther than what most people think. Move on to deep playoff run. Chargers. This probably the most controversial pick in the entire list, I would say, is the Chargers being a deep playoff run. The only reason why I say this is because when the Chargers, they're like Kawhi Leonard. It's like when they choose to be on, they can just easily be one of the best teams, if not the best team in the league. But the problem is, we rarely ever see them fully on and fully activated, so that's hard. And we haven't seen them in the playoffs with Justin Herbert, so we don't know if he just turns into Tom Brady in the playoffs. So, yeah. Speaking of Tom Brady, you got the Bucks. Bucks, yeah, deep playoff run. I don't think they're going to make the Super Bowl again, but I think they'll come pretty dang close to it. They got all 22 starters, and got Ndamukong Suh, Levante David, Devin White. They got all those good players back. Offense, you got Tom Brady, Chris Godwin, Leonard Fournette, Ronald Jones. You got all the good guys, and I don't see much of a change to this team. They're still 3-1, I believe. Yeah, only losses to the Rams, and yeah. Moving on to the Super Bowl boys. Super Bowl boys, Packers. They lost 38-3 in the first week of the regular season. Yes, we all know this. They have seemed to be bounced back amazingly from that, coming off a win versus Steelers. Controversial offside field goal return. Yes, we know that, but I think Packers. Aaron Rodgers is off to prove a point, and he is hungry for that Super Bowl, and he is going to stop at absolutely nothing to get it. So yeah, Browns. This might be more controversial than the Chargers. Speaking of that, Browns Chargers controversial pick. Browns. I think this year it might be the year they put it all together. Last year they made it to the divisional, I believe. Yeah, because they beat the Steelers, and then they got to the divisional. And then they had that touchback, which kind of sucked. That would have been a touchdown, but yeah, I think this is the year the Browns finally do it, and I think they can make it to the Super Bowl. I would love to see them do it. I would love to see them win a Super Bowl. And yeah, Browns, they're coming off a pretty interesting win versus the Vikings, 14-7. That's a little scary, but I think they'll bounce back from it just fine. Moving on to the Bills. They have allowed 0 points in the last 2 games. Let that sink in. 0 points in the last 2 games. 35-0, 40-0. They've scored 75 points and allowed 0 in the last 2 games. Not even to say anymore. Josh Allen, easy MVP favorite. Moving on to Cardinals tier. I do believe, this is biased. This is going to sound biased because I'm a Cardinals fan. I do think the Cardinals are the best team in the league. Do I think they'll make the Super Bowl? Maybe. I don't think there's an amazing chance of that, but I think they have a chance to. Do I think they'll win the Super Bowl? Probably not, but who knows? They have a chance. Do I think we're going to go 17-0? No, I don't think we're going to go close to 17-0. But I think we can make the playoffs, and I think we are currently the best team in the league. This isn't about how the future's going to turn out. This is how we're doing now, which I guess is kind of contradicting considering about Super Bowl boys, but in the future. I guess it is a little bit in the future, but I do believe the Cardinals are the best team in the league. I think they'll remain to be a good team. They're the only undefeated team in the league. Kyler Murray is looking like an MVP favorite. DeAndre Hopkins hasn't been doing too much, honestly, because he's just been occupying other cornerbacks like Christian Kirk, Rondell Moore, and A.J. Green can look amazing. James Conner and Chase Edmonds are an amazing running back duo, and their defense is looking pretty feisty out there. Isaiah Simmons, Chandler Jones, J.J. Watt, man, they sure are a good defense. But anyways, guys, that is my NFL tier list. I am so happy to have to be making videos and being motivated. It's been forever. I'm so sorry I had to make you guys wait, but I am back and ready to do this. So thanks, guys, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!